These two tiny chicks are only hours old, completely helpless, constantly hungry, and entirely dependent on two remarkably attentive parents. Over the next 3 days, we get a rare glimpse into the tiny world of a Chinspot Batis family. The Chinspot Batis is a small African insect-eating bird, and both parents take an active role in raising their young. For these newly hatched chicks, life is very simple. Stay warm, stay hidden, and wait for the next meal to arrive. The nest itself is remarkably small and beautifully camouflaged, built into the fork of a branch. It blends so well with its surroundings that it can easily go unnoticed. Inside, there is barely enough room for the growing family. At this age, the chicks are vulnerable, and one of the parents will regularly settle over them, helping to keep them warm and protected. At this age, the chicks can do little more than respond. A movement at the nest is enough to trigger those tiny mouths to open wide, ready for the next meal. Raising two chicks requires an almost continuous supply of food. Both parents search the surrounding vegetation for tiny insects and other suitable prey. Again and again, they return to the nest, and those tiny open mouths make it very clear what the chicks want. Raising chicks is a demanding race against time. Their bodies are developing at remarkable speed, and that means an almost constant need for food. And while we watch the chicks growing, there is an entire miniature world carrying on around them. Even at this very young age, the chicks already know exactly what to do. A parent approaches, and instantly those little mouths are ready. For these parents, the routine continues from morning onwards. Search for food, return to the nest, feed, clean, and then disappear into the surrounding vegetation once again. Even over just a few days, changes become noticeable. The chicks are still tiny, but they are becoming more responsive, and feeding continues throughout the day. For the parents, there is little rest. Food arrives, the chicks are checked, and the nest is kept clean. For 3 days, the tiny nest becomes the center of an extraordinary routine. Two parents working continuously to feed, protect, and care for their young. Another familiar voice suddenly joins the scene. The unmistakable call of the red-chested cuckoo, known to many South Africans as the Piet-my-vrou. It is only a visitor to our soundtrack, but its call is one of those unmistakable sounds of the African bush. Bringing food is only part of the job. The parents must also keep this tiny nest clean. Watch carefully here. The parent takes the fecal sac directly from the chick, removing the waste before it can soil the nest. This behavior helps keep the nest clean and may also reduce smells and other signs that could draw attention to the chicks. And here it happens again. Another fecal sac is collected, before it even reaches the nest. Our glimpse into their lives ends after just 3 days. For now, the chicks' entire world is only a few centimeters wide. This tiny nest, the shelter of their parents, and the constant arrival of food. But very soon, their world will become much, much bigger. These chicks are only at the beginning of an extraordinary transformation. In just a short time, they will look very different from the fragile little birds we see here. But for 3 days, these remarkable little birds allowed us a glimpse into the very beginning of their lives.